Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Mifasa Prayer and I'm a political emancipator, a political analyst, and a political guru. Yeah, my channel will be talking about politics, we'll be discussing about things that is happening in our society, we'll be discussing about political events that is unfolding day to day. We're not here to criticize any political parties, we're not here to support any political parties, we are here for the interest of Nigeria. So I want you to sit down and watch my channel. Please subscribe. Today we'll be talking of one thing, we'll be discussing about one is event that has happened in Nigeria that the government is actually trying to find a solution to it. So we're not here to blame the government, we're not here to support the government, we're here for Nigeria. So please sit down and watch my channel. Thank you. And please don't forget to share, like, and to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, now let's start. Now, prior to 2023, before the election, all the major political players in the last presidential election, the persons of our president, now President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, and the vice president of Nigeria in the person of Abubakar Atiku, and the former governor of Anambra State, who happens to be Peter Obi. Three of them promised. One of their major promise then was when they become the president of Nigeria, they are going to work on the minimum wage. That was what they promised. Both of them promised. So, but taking you back to where we started this journey in 2018, the then President Muhammad Buhari, increased the minimum wage from 18,000 naira to 30,000. Now, note, before he increased that minimum wage, there has been issues. Issues in the sense that there are some certain states that could not even pay that 18,000 naira as minimum wage. That was back then. Now he increased it to 30,000 naira. But the truth is this: as at when he increased it to 30,000 naira, the minimum wage in Nigeria has increased it to 30,000 as at then. Dollar to naira was between 150 something to 170 something then. So things were a little bit very okay for Nigerians, right? Now, but along the line, we found out that no, this minimum wage cannot sustain Nigeria workers. So most of the political parties in 2023, or before then, their major campaign was like when they becomes the president, they are going to make sure that they increase the minimum wage to substantial minimum wage. But now, before we digress, there are just some things we need to look into, and some of those things are most of our brothers' country. When I mean our brothers' country, most of all those countries that are between our political zone in Africa here. Let's take three countries as a case study now. Let's talk about Libya, right? Libya is a country that has a population of around 6 million plus, right? And their GDP is around 237 billion. Then let's talk about Algeria as well. Algeria is a country that has the population of Algeria is around about 41 million, right? The population of Algeria is around about 41 million, and Algeria has a GDP of around 200 and something billion dollars yearly, right? Now, what's the minimum wage of Algeria? Minimum wage of Algeria workers is around 220 something thousand there if you convert it to Nigeria currency. All of Libya is around 300,000 there. Libya is among the top countries in Africa that pays minimum wage more than 300,000. On that league, we have South Africa there, we have Libya, and we have Morocco. But note, most of these countries are higher producing countries, and Nigeria produce higher than them. We have more than them in the population, we are more than them in GDP. Now you need to ask yourself, what is wrong that we cannot even pay? At least let's even say, okay, BRS minimum 100k as minimum wage, that the government is trying to play hocus pocus with labor, taking them front and back to let us know where we are now. So now let's talk about what really transpired. What transpired was when the labor approached the federal government about the minimum wage, and the federal government felt that okay, fine, these were part of their campaign promise, and they felt that okay, fine, let's see how we can able to do this. Let's negotiate. The president of our country, in the name of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he actually set up what we call a tripartite committee, right, to look into how they could come out with what he called a substantial and a livable minimum wage. So that committee was headed by headed by our vice president in the name of Kashim Shettima. So Kashim Shettima headed the committee. So the committee comprised of former civil servant, former head of some parasitas. It comprised of major people from the banking sector, that's both the private sector and the public sector, and members of the Nigerian Labour Congress and members of the political party. So he wanted to come in a round table and discuss and see how they can come out with a livable minimum wage. So actually set up that committee, and that committee actually has been going on since the beginning of this year, that's in the first quarter of this year, so to say. But along the line, the Labour felt that okay, fine, this committee is not actually bringing anything forth. So the president, as at May 1st, when he gave a conference, the president made Nigeria to understand that the new minimum wage is going to start from May 1st, being that whatever report this submits to him and the federal government and Labour actually agree on that report, that they are going to make sure that the minimum wage started from May this year. But now the truth of the matter is this: now at first the Labour proposed about 615,000 as minimum wage. Along the line, they come down to 496, right, 494,000 naira along the line. And the federal government now said, okay, fine, this is what we are going to do. During the negotiation, after they've submitted the tripartite committee to the government, and the government did not really want to say, okay, fine, this is what these people submitted to me. Government now come up with this their trick, which I call hocus pocus, that they are going to pay Nigeria's worker 57,000 naira. So the Nigeria Labour Congress were angry and felt that no, this money is too small. Why would you say you want to pay us about 615, from 660 will come down to 400 and something thousand. Why telling us 57,000? So along the line, the federal government actually said, okay, fine, we're going to move this to 60,000 and that they are ready to pay 60,000. But note, one thing you need to understand is even the 30,000 and most states cannot pay that money. So along that line, the governor of Edo State, Governor Baseki, actually come up and said, okay, fine, he's going to pay 70,000 as a minimum wage. So the political tension was so heated to the extent that the federal government now felt that, okay, fine, this is what we're going to do. Then along the line, Labour felt that the federal government is not keeping on to their own promise. So Labour actually declared a strike. So we're giving them a warning strike. So the strike lasted for like 2 days. And at the end of the day, the federal government said, okay, fine, this is what we are going to do. Probably we should look into it that we are going to pay more than 60,000, but it's not going to be 60,000. So that the Labour should call off the strike so that they could be able to negotiate. And Labour, being a reasonable Labour, they actually listened to them. And at the end of the day, they called off the strike. The federal government actually went back to their drawing board. And the president ordered the finance minister to make sure that he comes up with a substantial and a payable minimum wage within 48 hours. So, and along the line, note, the tripartite committee has actually given the federal government the feedback from what the meeting they has actually had, which was headed by the vice president. Now, if the federal government decided to set a tripartite committee to actually look into the matter, a tripartite committee comes up with a particular amount of money they want the federal government to pay, right? Now, why is the federal government not telling Labour that this is what we want to pay? Why is the federal government playing politics with Labour as per what they are going to pay? Because now it's just more like, fine, okay, we want this, tell us that we should hold on. They will hold on. At the end of the day, we had a meeting, we come up with a substantial amount. We said this is what we are going to pay. At the end of the day, instead of you to say, okay, fine, I can pay, cannot pay, you're now telling them to hold on and this. They were just this fight front and back for some days now. Now, as at a few days ago, federal government actually said, okay, fine, this is what we are going to pay. The federal government is proposing that they are going to pay 62,000 naira. What's the difference between 60,000 and 62,000? Don't you see we are joking in this country? Do you think we can continue like this in the country? Could you reason the high cost of things in our society, the house cost of living in our society? A bag of rice is almost about 70 to 80,000. So you are telling a man that has 4 children and a wife that the minimum wage you can easily pay him is 60,000, 62,000. It's so absurd. So we are still waiting for Labour to actually come up with their own report as well, because now the federal government has said this is their final negotiation that they can only pay 60,000. So we're looking at Labour. We're looking at what Labour is going to see within the week to actually know where the matter is going. But the truth of the matter is this issue just got started, and let's watch and see how this issue is going to go. I will still be bringing you more information time to time from now. But please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel. Thank you. Please subscribe to my channel. Subscribe. Thank you.